Hey, how you doing? Before we start the actual show, there was one little thing that I need to point out. When I am reading the review, at one point the script had the phrase tribal chieftain. That was the phrase, tribal chieftain. You'll notice that I said something dramatically different. And if you don't notice it, I'll put a little visual flag up to alert you to it. But I think you're going to know. I'll leave it to you, armchair psychiatrists, to figure out why I said what I said. But I think it's the nature of the times that we're living in. Clearly, that was on my mind right at that point. So, in any case, you're going to notice a little weird thing that I actually fixed in the final edit. That will air on Hour of the Wolf. But it's a special little nugget for you to enjoy. Me, I'm going to take a hit of hemp oil and try to get myself centered because clearly I got stuff on my mind. Enjoy. Hey, how's it going? Welcome once again to Dan Records and Hour of the Wolf Review. How's it going where you are? Where I am, it is a Tuesday and things are not looking quite so good. More shootings, spikes in coronavirus infections. And also, Warner Brothers has pushed back the release date of the film that was supposed to be the vanguard to get people back into the theaters. Chris Nolan's Tenet went from a mid-July opening to end of July now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they push it back once again, because who's going to count on this all being over at the end of July, quite frankly. The good news, not stemming from any of that stuff, but the good news is that there is going to be an actual Hour of the Wolf airing on Saturday, June 20th. By the time you're watching this, the show will already have aired, but you can listen to it online through the archives too. In any case, so the good news for me is that this review that I'm going to record right now will air on Hour of the Wolf when that show does air on June 20th at 5 a.m. Let's get down to it, shall we? By the way, the other news, let me just check the recorder here. The other news is that in Philly, the Roots have canceled their annual Roots picnic for this year, unfortunately. But out of respect for them, I've also canceled my Roots. What do you think, huh? Makes me look 6 months younger. Any little bit helps. The beard dye did not come in time, so I'm looking younger up here and older down here. You don't mind, do you? One more time, if you're new to this, what I am going to be doing here is I am going to record my review for the radio show Hour of the Wolf, which airs on WBAI 99.5 FM in New York. Right now, it's a bi-weekly show every other week, and the next show is going to be coming up on June 20th at 5 a.m. Once again, since the show is going to be airing and this review will be airing with it, these episodes I put up after the show has aired. So why I'm telling you all this stuff right now, I don't know. But you can go to WBAI.org and go into the archives there and listen to that show. And you should, because Hour of the Wolf is an awesome show. It's one of the few, I think, serious literary genre shows around, and Jim Freund does an awesome job with it. You should check it out. But let's get down to doing the review. Let me just point out once more that when you hear the review on Hour of the Wolf, that's an edited down version of the recording, because I'm good at reading scripts, but I'm not great. And so what you're going to see is the raw, uncut version of what you hear on the radio, with lots of flubs and falterings and me trying to pronounce words that my tongue is stumbling over. But it should be educational in some way. You figure out. Let me take a drink here. There we go. Okay. So, here we go. Excuse me. Hour of the Wolf review, air date June 20th, 2020. The Deadlands. Take one. I'm Dan Persons, and this is my Hour of the Wolf review. AMC has introduced a new series on the Shudder streaming network. It's called The Deadlands, and it's about a world where corpses rise from the dead and come back here, you cowards! Yes, AMC has overplayed the Walking Dead bit. I checked out when Negan showed up. I can't stand the character, and tried one season of Fear the Walking Dead, and never went back. There's only so much I want to watch humanity's death walk, and by that I mean the actual death of humanity, not dead humans walking around. The Deadlands is different, way different. For one, it's coming out of New Zealand, and I wonder whether the For one, it's coming out of New Zealand. Why did I stumble over New Zealand? For one, it's coming out of New Zealand, and I wonder whether the producers approached AMC and said, "Hey, we're working on a zombie project. You want in?" Or if AMC went to the producers and said, "Listen." Or if AMC went to the producers and said, "Listen, if you come up with something with reanimated corpses, we've had good luck with that." I think the latter is less likely. In any case, the series is set in pre-colonial times. Not sure when, let's say at the very least, sometime before TV was invented. It's steeped in Maori culture and myth. How accurate, I don't know. But its rationale for why the dead walk is a clever twist on the genre. In this telling, the gateway into the land of the dead has been broken, and so souls are forced back into their rotting corpses. And they are pissed off. The genre started out with slow zombies and graduated eventually to fast zombies. And now we've got fast zombies who know martial arts and are out for vengeance. It falls to a renegade warrior, Waka Nuku Rao. There's going to be a heavy slog through some names here. Sorry about this. It falls to a renegade warrior, Waka Nuku Rao, played by Te Kohei Tuhaka, and the daughter of a liberal chieftain, Mehe, played by Darlene Christian, to seek out the entity who has, quote-unquote, broken the world. To seek out the entity who to seek out the entity who has, quote-unquote, broken the world and put things right. As you might expect, there's a heavier dip into fantasy in the Deadlands than is usual for these things. Waka is haunted by the spirit of his dead and quite manipulative mother, and another entity who may be some kind of god, it's not yet clear. I've watched 4 of the 8 episodes. And another entity who may be some kind of god. It's not yet clear. I've watched 4 of the 8 episodes, and it hasn't really been... And another entity who may be some kind of god. It's not yet clear. I've watched... Okay. And another entity who may be some kind of god. It's not yet clear. I've watched 4 of the 8 episodes, and it hasn't been fully explained yet. There are witches, ritual sacrifices, and the Maori culture, or at least the pop culture battle-ready incarnation of it, gives the show a unique ambience, less mournful desperation, and more let's go out and bash some zombie heads. Let's go out and bash some zombie heads, which is appreciated, although the Maori way of Let's go out and bash some zombie heads, which is appreciated, although the Maori way of displaying fierceness, which involves lots of hissing and letting your tongue loll out, is kind of weird, but also pretty awesome once you get used to it. The storytelling can falter in places. Directors Peter Berger and Michael Hurst, and executive producer and writer Glenn Standring, who based this show on the feature film he also wrote, indulge in narrative ellipses more frequently than I would prefer. That may be a factor of budget constraints. It's just that there are moments when it becomes palpable that a scene has gone missing. I do like the interactions between the bloodthirsty Waka. He's described as more monster than man. And the headstrong Mehe, and the relationship. Well, I lost the track of the sentence there. Let's try that again. I do like the interactions between the bloodthirsty Waka. He's described as more monster than man, and the headstrong Mehe, and the relationship gains further resonance once it's revealed that Waka is actually a former slave, which gives some added depth to how he interacts with his high-born traveling companion. Which gives some added depth to how he interacts with his high-born traveling companion. The publicity materials note that the Deadlands take Maori myth into the realm of Xena. Excuse me. The publicity materials note that the Deadlands take Maori myth into the realm of Xena, warrior princess, and there is a bit of contemporary snap to the show, but it has its own dark, feral vibe that makes it distinct in the zombie genre, and a welcome change from watching people turn gated communities into walled fortresses. And once again, I want to invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Historama 3D, where you can into walled fortresses. And once again, I want to invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Historama 3D. Okay, let me do that because I want to get the timing right on that. Into walled fortresses. And once again, I want to invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Historama 3D, where you can watch sometimes fun, sometimes just weird movies come to life with our where you can watch sometimes fun, sometimes just weird movies come to life with our decidedly not patented Space Brains 3D process. You can watch it on your VR headset through the YouTube VR app, or on regular old YouTube using anaglyph glasses. Another episode is in the works. Don't know when that will be coming up since other pursuits are taking precedence, but it'll happen eventually, and I'll let you know. But do check us out. Just search for Historama 3D. And of course, if you can help by donating somewhere, please do. The places and people in need are starting to pile up, but I leave it to you. But I leave it to your good judgment. The places and people in need are starting to pile up, but I leave it to your good judgment. The ace. Wow. Okay. Not much further. Let's see if we can get through this alive. The places and people in need are starting to pile up, but I leave it to your good judgment. The ACLU, Feeding America, the NAACP, Legal Defense Fund, Partners in Health, many, many more. None of us can help everybody. Well, maybe Bill Gates can, but we can all do our little bit. Search Google, use the term Black Lives Matter charity. I just found a page on the New York Magazine site that lists a healthy portion of charities. Pick one or a couple and help out. We can make this better. Thank you. For Hour of the Wolf, I'm Dan Persons. Okay. And if you've been keeping score, that charity pitch, yes, I did do that same charity pitch last week, but since that one is not going out to air and this one is, I figured I'd just reuse it again because that's the way I want to put it right now. So that is it. I may, depending on Jim Freund's discretion, I may also tag on the review that I recorded last week onto this review because I really like The Vast of Night as well. And if you got Amazon Prime, you should check it out. That one's worth checking out. In any case, that'll be it for this week. I hope you're all safe. I hope you are all well. If you are out protesting, please be careful. I know that sometimes that's not under your control, but I'm hoping we all emerge unscathed out of all of this, or at least a little better off for all the anguish that we're going through right now. If you do want, comment below, please. You can also like this video on the YouTube page, or you can comment on the Hour of the Wolf group over on Facebook. If you just like hanging out with me, click on the subscribe button for Upstart Company. That'll give you some interesting things to see in the coming weeks, I hope. In any case, thank you. Take care.